I'm Dr. Phyllis Collins of DietHobby.com. Today I'm going to show you how I make my cranberry breakfast cookies. Now these are really easy if you're in a really big hurry. In the morning you can just grab one out of the freezer and hopefully it'll be individually wrapped in the freezer for you or wherever. And you can take them with you and eat them in the car on the go if you need to in a hurry. They're also really good as a little snack. They're kind of big, really, and I cut mine in half if I'm going to have it as a snack. But it's a tasty treat. It's kind of unusual, I think, but I really like it. So it's got 156 calories for one cookie. It makes 4 cookies. Each one has 156 calories. It's 28 net carb grams and 5 protein grams. So it's a reduced carb, but it's low fat, but it is not a low carb. It's reduced carb. Okay, so here we are with the healthy cookies. We're going to start out by taking a half a cup of oatmeal, and not instant oatmeal and not steel cut, just any other kind of oatmeal is fine. And we're going to add to that 6 tablespoons of whole wheat flour. Now, what I'm using today is this whole wheat pastry flour, but you can use any kind of whole wheat flour that you like. And then you take Fiber One brand cereal, just regular Fiber One brand cereal, and you buzz it up or crush it, take a bag and crush it with a what is the word? Rolling pin. And then, or you can buzz it up in the magic bullet until it's kind of like breadcrumbs. And we put that in. That adds fiber to the recipe. The next thing that you do is you add, let's see, 1/4 cup of sugar substitute. That would be Splenda. And 2 tablespoons of packed brown sugar. So I said it's got sugar in it and it's got flour in it. So it is not an officially low-carb recipe. So we're going to mix that all up, and then we add to this a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1/8 teaspoon of salt. And of course, you can always decide not to have the salt if you choose. And I'm just going to combine that. I think I'll use this whisk. And combine all these dry ingredients up so they're mixed thoroughly. And I have to admit, all my recipes I seem to say are my favorite, but these are another one of my favorites. Okay, so we got the brown, that stuff. Okay, next, what we're going to do is take 2 tablespoons of hot water, and I didn't get it yet, because I didn't. And we're going to take 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons is like 1/2 cup. And I'm going to take Coffee Mate. This is Coffee Mate sugar-free French vanilla non-dairy creamer. And take Coffee Mate, and we put 2 teaspoons, and we dissolve it. I think you dissolve it in the hot water. Now, I don't know why this recipe calls for that. I've never used Coffee Mate, and I actually bought it just for this recipe. And I'm really glad that I did, because it's quite tasty. Okay, so there we go. We got about 2 tablespoons. Now I'm going to take this and put the wet ingredients together in another bowl. And this is one of the wet ingredients. So I didn't get it stirred up very well because my water, usually if I'm doing this off camera, I use boiling water. I have the water boiling, and then I just get a couple of tablespoons of boiling water, but I didn't do it, I forgot. And so to put my kettle, I forgot to put the kettle on. Okay, next we're going to take a 2.5-ounce jar of beech nut or Gerber, whatever, of baby food. It's Peaches baby food, and we're going to add that. It's like pureed baby food. And we're going to mix that in. Then we have a quarter of a cup of pumpkin. That's the pumpkin. And those of you may say, what do you do with all the rest of the pumpkin in the can? Well, you know, you put it individually servings and you freeze it. And if you have not seen the videos I made, the 5 videos on storing food, tricks and tips, you really need to see those, because that is the most important tip, this most important thing about my whole cooking career. And it's not a career, but I guess an eating career, dieting. Okay, so we have the peaches. That now we're going to take a quarter of a cup of egg beaters, and you know, egg beaters are just egg whites that you already buy mixed up, and we'll stir those together. So I'm stirring these all together, okay? Now I'm going to mix the wet ingredients together. I'm going to dry ingredients together in the wet ingredients. So I'll put the dry ingredients together in the wet ingredients and stir those all together. So, like, you know, I have about 50 of these cooking videos already in playlists on my YouTube channel, and also they're in my blog, my Diet Hobby website. So you really, they're timeless. So it's not like they're good for whenever. So you should, you know, if you have time, you should go there and look at some of them, you know, see what you like, and if some of them interest you, then watch the video, because you may really like some of these recipes. And if not, you might just enjoy it for the entertainment value to see somebody mess up that cooking show. Okay, so these are the cranberries. Actually, craisins, it doesn't matter, just cranberries. And what you take with cranberries is 2 tablespoons of cranberries. But I do something a little different, because it's small cookies and I want the cranberries to go all the way through. So what you do is you take the cranberry out and you cut it up. Now I use these little kitchen shears and just cut it like this, but you could take a table knife and cut it as well. But you want a lot of little teeny tiny pieces so they're spread all through the cookies. So here we go. I got a whole bunch of teeny tiny cookies, 2 tablespoons of cranberries, dried cranberries, and I'm putting them through and mixing them through my cookies. Now these are actually going to make a pretty good sized diet cookie. Then we take I've got the oven heated up at 375 degrees. I'm taking a cookie sheet and I'm going to spray it with nonstick coating. And I'm going to take I'm going to divide this into 4 to make 4 big cookies. And like I say, a lot of times I will cut up and have half of one. You know, I'll freeze them individually into half if I'm not going to use it for a meal, if I want to use it for a snack, because I want to have less calories. But it's 156 for the whole calories for the whole cookie. So that it makes a really nice little special, sweet breakfast that's better than going to Starbucks and picking something up, or one of those little coffee shop, because it's got all these healthy ingredients in it. And just kind of spread them around, flatten them down a little bit. And that one's not quite. Okay, now I'm going to put them in the oven and bake them for 12 to 14 minutes at 375, and we'll come back when they're ready. Our breakfast cookies are done, and they look really, really good. They came out well. And you see how big they are, and they're full of whole wheat flour and oatmeal and Fiber One cereal and cranberries, because they're cranberry breakfast cookies. 156 calories for one. See what a nice size that is? 28 net carbs, so they're not low carb. They have sugar in them, they have flour in them, they have oatmeal in them. They're reduced carb and reduced fat, but they are low calorie, and the protein is 5 grams. So I have to taste it. You pick it up like this. See what a good looking cookie that is? That's so big. And it's sweet too. Not too sweet, but sweet enough. Come and see me at diethobby.com.